What is going on, guys? This is Elite Killer here, and this is my opinion of the Division 2. So as all of you will know, the Division 2 was released on the 12th of March for some people and the 15th of March for everyone else. Now, during its week of release, the Division 2 was the UK's best-selling game. Although its sales were only 20% of the original game's launch, Japan, they sold around 63,000 physical units for PS4, which made it the #1 selling game of any format. Now, having some time to play the game, reach max tier, play all the aspects which are out so far, I thought it was the right time now to give my review rather than giving it too early. Now, in this video, I am going to be reviewing the graphics and design, PvE gameplay, PvP gameplay, and the community. Now, you might be thinking, why is the community there? Well, we'll get to that part later. Now let's go straight into graphics and design. What can I say? This game looks truly amazing. The amount of detail that went into the creation of this game deserves an award in itself. To me, it really feels like you're walking down the streets of DC. And of course, there are going to be some UI bugs, but that just adds to the fun of it all. Who doesn't want to see a deer having an epileptic fit in the middle of DC? Or a man floating mid-air like the Masked Magician? So as well as the fantastic design, there are some pluses that I just wanted to point out in how they have done sort of graphics and some of the settings that they've put for us. So the resolutions, they support widescreen, ultra wide and double wide, which is a plus. The field of view auto adjusts based on the aspect ratio. And now this one's a big one for me. You can unlock the frame rate cap by turning the VSync off. So I think you can lock it at 200 frames per second maximum, but you can turn that cap off. Which opens up a lot of doors, especially if you've got a powerful computer. It opens up a lot of doors for you. Now, in terms of the graphics settings, they are very good. You can tweak so much stuff within those settings. There's too many for me to go through each one, but the special one that I think is really good is the HUD customization. You can move the minimap. You can move the names of the players in your squad. You can move everything on your screen to where you want it. So if you want your field proficiency bar at the top or your level bar at the top to be moved, you just move it wherever you want. You just drag it and move it. It's absolutely fantastic, especially for a content creator or a streamer who has a layout. You can move that wherever you like. Now, going on to some more key parts. Key mapping, of course, you can key map. So if you're on PC, you can map keys to do certain things. And also, if you're like me and you want to play on PC but you're not great with a keyboard and mouse, there is the support for a controller. The only thing I would like to see, which I believe will be put into place, is a custom field of view tool and also a modding tool. Let us mod, let the PC players mod and let them have fun with it and see what they can do. But all that said, they've done a great job making this game look amazing. I hope that they just keep up this good work with the look and the design. I mean, just the detail that goes into everything in the game. So yeah, the gameplay and design is absolutely fantastic for me. So on to the PvE gameplay now. As you know, I do not enjoy PvP in any game, but this one strangely had my attention for a while. I mean, when I say a while, I literally mean until I reached the gear score 450. Which is max. Now, this is my personal opinion, so please do not hate me for what I'm about to say. I love the story. The whole story from Division 1 was amazing. Also Division 2, they are brilliant. It's a really good story. The fact they introduced new enemies, new ways to complete missions is absolutely amazing. It wasn't just the same stuff over again from Division 1. And the working the way up the tiers, I feel, was a pretty good idea too. However, Now this is a big however. I found it too repetitive. So I found I was doing the same thing over and over again. So I don't want to keep doing the same control point. I don't want to do the same public execution. Especially not in each world tier. So I just feel every world tier should have been slightly different. I know it's a lot more work and they've put in so much time and effort in this game. But for me it's too repetitive. Give me something new each tier. Let me play something different. Maybe if they just kept stuff back. Control points was tier 1, you know. Then they introduced hostage rescues in tier 2. You know, just something different like that. That would have been so much better. Now there is a spoiler alert. So if you haven't maxed level and you don't want to know what happens, then please skip a few seconds past this. So I don't think that the end game, when the Black Tusk take over, was done very well in terms of content. Now in my opinion it should have been open to new levels at that stage, or even a new part of the map where you then move on to where the Black Tusk are. I get the whole story fits in, I get how it works, but honestly it had me bored by tier 2 and I was dreading doing the rest of it. So the tier 5 should be releasing soon, and that does give us a new stronghold mission which will be great and a breath of fresh air for us. And I did like the fact that the Black Tusk was introduced the way they did it. It was a really good game changer when you seen them clips come in, the Black Tusk take over. The idea was great. Another massive plus was the hunters. Now, you know how much hassle we had with hunters when they first come out sort of in the underground and survival. They were hard to kill and everyone was after the hunters, especially the hunter masks. So the way they have brought them into this game is fantastic. The thought that went into how to activate them was great. Really good to go and fight with them. They're not easy unless you're sort of max level. Then we found it quite easy if you're in a team. And of course you can't forget the cutscene of the hunter where he just shocks you and walks off. That really had me like so excited to get back in and fight some of those hunters. So overall, as I say, the PvE was very good, but only for so long. So for that reason, I'm going to rate the PvE aspect 7 out of 10. Now to talk about which I thought was going to be my favourite aspect of the game, which is the PvP. So for me, this is the most exciting part. So I waited until I was max level to enter the Dark Zone. I thought this would be me for the foreseeable future. Just playing in the Dark Zone constantly, not doing any PvE because I don't enjoy that at all. Unfortunately, I was a little bit wrong. So the Dark Zones, they each have individual areas which switch the game different ways. So the occupied DZ, so when a zone becomes occupied, the gear normalization will be turned off, rogue status will be hidden from everyone else, friendly fire is enabled, and the turrets around the entrance stop working. The NPCs also become a lot harder too. So I like that aspect. I do like the aspect of there being different Dark Zones and different sort of ways to do stuff in the Dark Zones. So the other two Dark Zones are normalised gear, which personally I hated in Last Stand and Skirmish in the Division 1. In my opinion, and now this is only my opinion, I'm probably going to upset a few people here. If I play the game for 100 hours more than you, then yeah, I should have better gear. I should be able to mid-max my build to be more powerful, just as a thank you for putting in all that time and effort to do it. I put in so many more hours, so yeah, I should be getting better gear. I should be able to maximise my gear depending on the time I've played. But some opinions vary, you know. Some newer people to the DZ may like the normalisation, but me, I'm a die-hard PvP player on the Division, and I personally hate it. I hate that part of the game. Now another thing that needs attention in my view is the time to kill. Now this is very short, and now with the lack of healing ability, it is near impossible to fight multiple players at once. The only healing you have really is the chem launcher, which seems to be the most effective at the moment. But this being said, the skills are still slightly broken, but you know, the team are working on that. They have put a short fix in and they're going to fix it fully. So that's a good thing that they're actually going to look into this and fix it. Another bug of mine in the DZ, it seems a little too small. I would kind of rather have had one big DZ with more players. I don't know if it's because it's early on in the game, but it seems almost impossible to find players. NPCs are everywhere and sometimes a little too close to each other, meaning the cover-to-cover aspect is no longer valid when playing. They hit hard, they attack even harder, making the checkpoints very hard to do, especially if you're solo, which to me is a good challenge. It's annoying, but I kind of like it in an annoying way. I like being challenged on the game. And also, I mean, there seems to be a lack of loot boxes or DZ boxes in the Dark Zones. I don't know if it's because it's so small they don't want to overcrowd it. But yeah, so it's like a slight lack there just of picking up loot from boxes. Now, a good thing about the DZ, in my opinion, is the gear drops there. So this change really caught my eye. The fact that an NPC or a boss can drop gear that doesn't need extracting within the Dark Zone, I believe that's a good touch. Now, this is this is what they should have done, sort of Division 1 to instead of taking off friendly fire, etc. In my opinion, they should have done something like this. So it means like the DZ bullies, like myself, we don't have to upset people when we're cutting people's ropes, and it gives the less PvP minded players a chance to enjoy that area too, to experience the area. Especially now we've got the photo mode as well, so just to experience the DZ and not be scared to go in there for people just going to keep taking their gear off them, etc. So they're still going to reap the reward if they play in the DZ. So overall, the PvP Dark Zone side of things for me, I'm going to rate that a 6 out of 10. Now that's a number of reasons, like I've been through a couple already. A few more is like the one-shot sniper build. You know, yeah, it's a good build, and yes, Marco, Wids, etc. are going to be landing those headshots. So it takes skill to hit a headshot, you know, so give them the build. But I mean, we just need healing and stuff like that to be better in the game. In terms of conflict, which is sort of the last stand / skirmish style gameplay on the Division 2, I find it just as bad as Last Stand was for lag. I don't know what happens, but every time, I don't know if it's just me, but every time I go into these conflict games, I seem to have a lot of desync, a lot of lag, and then I'm just getting one tapped from across the map with a sniper, which is a sniper build, which is fine. You know, I don't mind a good fight, and it just means I have to be more tactical in my approach to those players. But the lag just seems to be a huge issue. Desync seems to be a huge issue. Now, it might just be me that's having this. Let me know in the comments below if you're having this issue as well. I got it in Last Stand a lot. I will say the matchmaking, etc. is a little bit better. I would have liked to have seen us be able to change our loadout while matchmaking still. I think that's sort of a thing that could have been added in, so we don't have to wait until we're actually in the game. And also, I would have liked to have seen us be able to change our loadout in the Dark Zone when in combat. Like, I can't even change a piece of armor, like a chest piece or a set of gloves. It just wouldn't let you change it at all when you're in combat. So that's my PvP review, and let's move on to the next one. Now, the last part, this finally links me in to the community. So not only do I want to say a huge thank you to the community for being so awesome and really coming together on this game, I want to actually thank the devs. They've done an absolutely fantastic job, especially Terry Spear, Julian and Johan. They've all played a huge part in supporting the community on social media. Now, at one point I thought Terry would delete his Twitter. He'd been tagged in that much stuff. But give it to him, he replied to pretty much every single one, including myself. Now, if that's not a great team, I don't know what is. When a dev is replying to people on Twitter, asking for your opinion, you know, how can we improve? What's your opinions? And they're actually taking that in. He's not just asking for the sake of asking. He just wouldn't answer. He actually wants to know what our general opinions are and how we feel about the Dark Zone, say, if it's Terry. Julian's knowledge is absolutely amazing. Just watching some of his tweets about sort of the crit hit damage, the drop off for it, etc. Things that people probably wouldn't have knew before. Julian's just answering these questions, and it's fantastic to see him engaging so much with the community. Now, Johan, he has absolutely been amazing for me as well, answering any questions I've got. He's been so active on Twitter. Also helped me out with the giveaways, which I've got going on my Twitter now. If you go to twitter.com/EliteKillerDiv, you will see I've got a giveaway ending Monday, so ending in 2 days, for a couple of copies of the Division 2. But he's been absolutely fantastic, and a community manager to be so active is absolutely fantastic. I mean, if you go on to COD, you know, and try and ask the devs, give them your opinion on improvements, they're probably not going to answer you. I don't know if they do or not, but I doubt that very much. And that to me is what makes this game a must buy. You've got to buy this game. Yes, it had some issues, but it's forever expanding. This game expands. We've seen it so much in the Division 1. Look at all the changes that they did in Division 1. But I noticed that the speed of the fixes in Division 2 is so good. We don't have to wait for that update where we're waiting for, say, 1.8.1 so they can fix something, or 1.8.3 where they can fix something else. They're doing fixes instantly. They're working hours and hours over probably what they're normally working to help us enjoy the game. Now, for me, that is worth its price in gold. You know, that is absolutely fantastic. So a huge thank you to everyone in the community. There's not been that much toxicity. I've seen a little bit of toxicity, but you know, it is a PvP / open world kind of game. We're gonna get that a little bit, but just a huge thank you to everyone for this game. The game is absolutely amazing. So let's come to the end of the video. So my rate for the overall game is going to be 8 out of 10. Yes, there's room for improvement, but very well done, and it's still a great game to get your teeth into. I can't wait for Tier 5 and to enjoy the rest of the updates, the Season Pass. We're going to have the raids. We're going to have so much stuff to do. It's going to be amazing. Just keep up the good work, and hopefully we can all carry on enjoying the game and for the next couple of years, because I'm assuming this is going to be a couple of years at least until they release another one, if they even do. But yeah, it's just forever improving. So that's the end of the video, guys. Do not forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for all of the Division 2 and other games. And yeah, so just comment below your opinions, guys. I want to hear what your opinions are. This is all my personal opinion, and yeah, maybe I've gone a little bit hard on some of it. But honestly, I just wanted to do this video so you know how I feel about the game. So yeah, I'll see you all in DC.